And like I said in this recent short that I just released, it looks like we're able to beat Legend on a regular basis, and yeah, that's going to be very helpful. But I have not been enjoying eFootball Mobile lately, and the main reason is just the gameplay, and I think I'll go more on that in this episode. But yeah, we've got more trailers that I want to show you that are for games that are releasing and movies that are releasing as well. Yeah, so I'll just mention those as well. And yeah, we're playing 4-3-3 as per usual, and this is just a trial season that I started with Southampton, and I wanted to see if I could actually get to the Legend division or to the Legend difficulty, and yeah, it was possible. So at this point we were drawing a lot of Legend games, so yeah, I just wanted to show you what that looked like. But we weren't only drawing, we also managed to win one, so that was very, very useful. But one thing for sure is that I'm not actually enjoying the game as much as I thought I would. So yeah, I finally learned a few skill moves, so I think that's going to be very helpful. I've learned how to finish in multiple situations. I've learned finesse and power shots. I think both very useful and very much necessary if you want to score from various positions. I think it unlocks a few angles that you need to use to actually beat this difficulty. So yeah, I believe that is definitely going to be useful. But I don't think that this game is necessarily better than FC Mobile at the moment. I think, yeah, I definitely was vying for the realism and, you know, just that feel of football, I guess. But yeah, after playing a few games, I think it does get a little bit stagnant. So yeah, I think I've played a bit more than 100 games at this point to get to the place that I'm at right now. And yeah, I think it was just necessary. I felt like, you know, being in the legendary division in FC Mobile and not being able to beat Legend in this game was just inconsistent. And now that I am, and I've got the proof to show it, I think it's going to be very useful for me in the future. So yeah, that's just awesome. It's a nice achievement to unlock. I beat them quite a few times. I think I played so many matches, and yeah, I started beating them, you know, 3 or 4 times in a row, and I started being able to score multiple times against the Legend difficulty. So that is very useful for me to know, and also boost my confidence when I do open up this game. So that is awesome. And yeah, I'm just going to show you a little bit of proof of that. And yeah, there obviously can be more proof, but I've actually decided to, you know, to drop the game in general. And yeah, I was getting used to the formations, I guess, but I literally feel like there are no passing lanes in this game. Like, you literally have to pass back and forth between your midfielders. You have to pass back and forth between your defenders before you're able to score a goal. I feel like when you are trying to beat this difficulty, once they have the ball, it obviously increases their chances to score, and you don't want that to happen. So you try to hold possession for a bit too long as well, or maybe that's just a personal thing at the moment. But yeah, I just felt all of that was, you know, kind of boring and stagnant, and it wasn't really exciting football that I wanted to play a whole season of eFootball on. So yeah, I don't think there will be any major improvements. But yeah, I think the best that I can do at the moment is play online. And yeah, as long as I'm able to beat the Legend difficulty, I have no problem with that at all. Yeah, so we're definitely going to be moving on to FC Mobile. And in terms of which is a better game, I am definitely going to probably release reviews and tell you exactly what I think about both games. But at the moment, I can definitely say that eFootball Mobile is a few paces behind FC Mobile. FC Mobile, I just feel like, you know, the skill moves are a lot easier to learn. They're a lot easier to use as well. You can use them consistently. I feel like, you know, on this game, you don't necessarily get that consistency, and you can, you know, make a mistake very easily. And yeah, that's going to be something that they definitely need to change. With positioning as well, I just really feel the pitch feels like it's a bit larger, but the use of the pitch is terrible. The pace of, you know, the defenders and attackers is also very, very, I don't know, it just doesn't feel too good, you know. I feel when you're playing these games, you also need to feel the game actually is a bit exciting. And, you know, in terms of realism, I can't really say there's a difference between the two. After beating Legend 3-0, I just felt like, you know, you definitely can, you know, score many goals in this game. It's not impossible at the end of the day, and you can do it in the highest difficulties against the hardest players. So yeah, I think that's my overall review. But let me have a consistent run on online, and get to let me attempt to get to the first division to give you a proper review and analysis of this game in general. But yeah, as for now, we're definitely going to be going back onto FC Mobile. One thing we haven't done on FC Mobile just yet is got into FC Champion, and yeah, I think I need to make that push, get my settings right, get my formations right, use the right players, obviously, upgrade whatever I can, and yeah, go all the way. And yeah, it seems like it's taken me about the whole season at this point, but yeah, it's not a problem at all. At least I'll be able to say that I will be one, and will continue to push onwards from there. Yeah, but at the moment, as you can see, we've got a few games that are releasing. One is called Him. So Him is the movie, and then we've got Starjune Awakening. So yeah, a few people have actually gotten early access to that already. They've already started playing it, so yeah, it looks a little bit interesting. I like the theme that they have going on. Sometimes I see a little bit of my logo on it, so yeah, that's pretty cool. And yeah, it's definitely something that I'll try to use in my own editing, and yeah, I'll try to create my own edits of those types of creations. I feel like, yeah, it just gives me so many.
Is it someone's birthday? Have you missed an anniversary? Well, look no further than Party City. They will help set up your gig. Lights, balloons, and packaging available now in Harare.
Yeah, so that'll definitely be one of my goals. But as you can see, in this first match, we drew against Everton, and then we played against a small club here. I think it was Ipswich Town. I definitely think, I did play against a small team, but I can definitely beat, Manchester City, Liverpool, or any big team in the league right now on Legend. So yeah, but at the same time, I just felt like it took too long to, to do all of that. And instead, I've decided to play online. Playing online against the other players is just a little bit more exciting. Other players will have bigger chances to make mistakes. I've seen in this game, right? The Legend difficulty is good, very good AI. Their shooting ability is beyond yours by far. And yeah, their passing is not very good, I would say. Especially if you try block all the passing lanes, then you should be good to go. But yeah, I feel man marking will never work against this difficulty. As soon as you try to man mark any of these players, and then they will, move past you using skill moves. And yeah, that's pretty much it. But trying to go past them, you also have to use skill moves. So you have to, time it right. You need a bit of space, and yeah, that should work for you. But the only time that you need to sort of man mark an area is when you are trying to mark the goals specifically. I feel like you need to put a few defenders behind any type of finesse shot or any type of power shot that they might be trying. And one thing that I learned was I do concede every time they cross the ball in. I feel like it is very difficult to defend those types of situations. For some reason, every time they cross it in, it's a perfect cross and a perfect header. So it's quite a bit different, but yeah, it's definitely possible at the end of the day. And then the best formation that I've found is definitely you need 3 midfielders to just have a solid defense at the back. And going forward, I've actually found to use 2 strikers and a second striker, or 2 strikers and a centre attacking midfielder. So that would be 4-3-1-2 for me. But you can use it in various ways. You can attempt to have 3 strikers in your formation, and yeah, I feel like those usually work. But in the gameplay that I'm showing you right now, I definitely had a left winger and a right winger. So yeah, that is pretty cool. And yeah, just being able to do this, very important for me. I just felt like it's a little bit of practice before I get into this online multiplayer. So yeah, I am excited. I feel like we are definitely going to do pretty well, and it's going to be quite interesting, playing against other players. I don't think it's difficult necessarily. I actually think it's pretty easy, but FC Mobile multiplayer is also a little bit better, so that's going to be my first goal, to get to FC Champion and then we will move onwards from there. But as for now, as you can see, we won this game, and the way we did it was a counter-attacking goal. I am scoring a lot of counter-attacking goals, as you can see, and if I score any goals near the box, it's, well, from open play, it's usually like, you know, a 1-2, and it's sometimes most of my goals are actually coming from long range. So I feel like their defense is very, very solid, and you need to have, you know, those extra skills just to get past this difficulty. But at the end of the day, it is possible. And if you ask me, if I did play a whole season, I believe I'd finish, you know, in a Europa League spot or higher in the first season. But yeah, like I said, I feel like that's going to take a little bit too much time for me, and I'd rather focus on FC Champion. So let's see if we can do that. And the rest of this is just going to be some commentary. I'm just going to be letting you know what was happening. So as you can see, every time I pass the ball into the midfield, especially if there are any other players around, it is very difficult. You know, they win the ball pretty easily. But one thing that I have learned is play the ball very quickly. So once you might try to keep possession for a bit. I do try to keep possession, but it's usually, you know, 50-50. It never goes to like, you know, 70 or 60%. And yeah, once you do have, you see an open chance, you see an opportunity to score, you definitely have to pass the ball very quickly. Otherwise, they will block all the passing lanes. They'll be man marking all of your players or all the angles. Somehow it seems like it's 12 against 11 when you're playing against this difficulty. But there are definitely opportunities to score, and it is actually kind of easy to defend once you get used to it. So yeah, like I said, having this many opportunities already, I was already impressed with where I had gotten at that point. And I actually skipped the superstar difficulty and I went straight to legend for some reason, and it worked out for me. So that is awesome. And I'm just glad that I was able to get here as quickly as I did. Actually, it took me, I'd say, about 2 days, but obviously I've been practicing throughout the year at this point, so I did get used to it. And the finesse shot is overpowered in this game, actually. I feel like if you finesse into the bottom corner, you have a high chance of scoring. But yeah, sometimes the game just doesn't let you score, as you can see right there. So yeah, I'm definitely, I enjoyed the game overall. I feel like it's going to be nice to come back to, but yeah, I miss FC Mobile, I guess. And yeah, it's not the most exciting game you can play at the moment, but it's definitely a good one. So I believe I'll have more holistic view on the game in general once I do play against other players. But as for now, we need to get to FC Champion and yeah, just continue the grind. So I'll see you all in the next episode.